Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to work these really simple dimensional analysis problems. So for example, we're just going to start with the easy dozen eggs example. Okay, so if we were given that there's 4 dozen eggs and we wanted to see how many eggs are in this 4 dozen eggs, okay, we would start and we would say 4 dozen eggs. Okay, we draw our train tracks. Okay, and we would say we know that for every 1 dozen, okay, 1 dozen eggs, we have 12 eggs. Okay, so when we get that, what this is going to tell us, okay, is that what we're going to do is, because it's next to each other on this dimensional analysis track, it's going to be multiplied. Okay, so this is going to be 4 times 12, okay, which would give us our 48 eggs. Okay, so that, go ahead, we worked out that problem, we know we have 48 eggs then. Okay, the way you can check to make sure you did this right is your units are going to have to cancel out. So I had dozen eggs here, and I have dozen eggs here, so I know those will cancel each other out. Okay, so check, check. Okay, we know that we're going to be left with just eggs, which is what we wanted. Okay, eggs to eggs. Okay, so that's one really easy sample problem. Okay, now let's try it with a little bit of a harder problem. We're actually going to work one of the moles to molecules problems. Okay, so one of the examples from our little PowerPoint that we went through wants to know how many molecules. So how many molecules are in 4 moles of water? Okay, so here's our question. How many molecules are in 4 moles of water? Okay, so what does our problem give us? Okay, the given here is going to be 4 moles of water, so that's what we're going to start with. Okay, so we'll go over here and we'll say, okay, 4 moles of water, 4 moles of H2O, and we'll draw our train track. Okay, if we have moles of H2O on the top, what do we have to put down here in order to cancel it out? Okay, we're going to have moles of H2O here. Okay, and we know that we're ending up looking for molecules, so we want to have molecules up here. Okay, what do we know about moles to molecules? Well, we know that every 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Okay, because these two numbers are next to each other, what do we do with them? We're going to multiply. Okay, so your answer is going to be 4 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Okay, so we'll do that real quick. Okay, so basically what we would get, you want to put it in your scientific calculator, which I don't have, so I can't show you that. But what I did was I went ahead and multiplied 4 times the 6.02, which gives me 24.08. Okay, with scientific notation, I only want one of my numbers to be in front of there, so I'm going to put 2.4 times 10 to the 24th. Okay, and then I have to put my units on there, so that would be molecules. Okay, when we put that in our calculator, okay, we're going to put 4 in, and then we're going to put in times, okay, and then we'll do 6.02, and then we'll put that E symbol, and then to the 23rd. Okay, I'm going to get a scientific calculator, and I'll show you guys how to do that on the scientific calculator. Okay, I got a scientific calculator. So the way that you would put this in your calculator is you would say 4, and then multiply, so times, and then you would do 6.02, and you would do second E, which is right here, this little E button. Okay, and then you would do 23. Okay, so that's the way we write 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd in the calculator. You hit enter, and it gives you 2.408 E24. So the way you would write this on your paper would be 2.4 times 10 to the 24th. Okay, because remember, E23 meant times 10 to the 23rd. So E24 means times 10 to the 24th. Okay, so we practiced that one. Let's go ahead and do one more. Okay, so this next problem that we're going to do, okay, it's saying if you have 1.2 times 10 to the 24th molecules of NH3, how many moles of NH3 do you have? Okay, so again, what is the given here? Okay, they're giving us 1.2 times 10 to the 24th molecules, and they're asking us to find moles. Okay, so we want moles. We'll put a little question mark next to moles because that's what we're looking for. Okay, so again, you start with what you're given. So we would say 1.2 times 10 to the 24th molecules. Okay, we're going to draw our train tracks. Okay, I'm sorry, molecules of NH3. We have to write that. Okay, so molecules of NH3. So if we have molecules of NH3 here, what do we know we have to have down here so it'll cancel out? We know it's going to have to be molecules of NH3. Okay, so up here, what we want will end up being moles. Okay, so we go ahead and we know our conversion from moles to molecules. Okay, for every 1 mole, we have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Okay, so now we've got a different problem here, because whereas we would multiply when our numbers were next to each other, now that they're on top and bottom, we have to divide. Okay, so pause just a second and I'll show you guys how to do this on the calculator. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our problem into the calculator. Okay, so you can see we're starting with 1.2 times 10 to the 24th molecules. Okay, and we're going to end up with moles. So we have to put 2 different molecules into the calculator and divide them. Okay, so when we're going to do that, we always have to use parentheses because we have that little e with our exponent there. Okay, so always use parentheses with those, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Okay, so for example, okay, we're going to put, because we're starting with 1.2 times 10 to the 24th, that's going to be the first number we put in. Okay, it'll be on top of our equation just like it is here, this divided by this. Okay, so we'll do parentheses 1.2, second e, 24, because it was times 10 to the 24th. Then we're going to divide, close the parentheses, then hit divide. Open another set of parentheses and do 6.02, second e, and then 23. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Close your parentheses and hit enter. Okay, so that's going to be 1.99. Okay, so our answer here would be 1.99 moles of NH3. Okay, or we should have put NH3 here. Sorry, that's my fault. And then you can cross out molecules of NH3, because we canceled those out. Okay, so your answer should be right here, 1.99 moles of NH3. Okay, so those are some of our sample problems. I'm going to show you guys the worksheet that you have to do. We're going to work through maybe 1 or 2 of them together, and then you guys will be able to finish the rest of it on your own.